This is worksheet 3.1 WSPM, and on this video we're going to be explaining the even questions. You're supposed to do all of them. I already explained them. The odd ones on a different video. This is a video for the even questions. So let's take a look at this first part of the homework assignment. It says determine whether each equation is linear or nonlinear, right? And if it is linear, you say yes, and then rewrite your equation in standard form. Okay, so we need to remember what standard form is. Once again, what is standard form, anybody?
Standard form is when you have the x and the y on one side.
Capital AX plus capital BY equals capital C. Yes, X's and Y's are on one side. A, B, and C are just numbers. They're actually integers, to be exact. Now, what does that mean, integers? That means you don't want no decimals and no fractions. That is exactly what standard form means. So we need to first determine if it's linear or nonlinear, and in order to know that, you need to go back to the notes I gave you a couple days ago. I just cut this out from the notes. It says an equation is not linear. I mean, that means if you graph it, it doesn't give you a continuous straight line. It's something else. It's not linear if you have two variables being multiplied together, if you have a variable as a denominator of a fraction, or it's not linear if you have a variable that has an exponent on it. So let's jump to number two actually, sorry. And let's ask ourselves, do we have x times y right here? No. So it doesn't have two variables being multiplied together. Do we have a variable in the denominator of a fraction? Do we have a fraction here? No. So if you ever have like 3 divided by x, then yeah, that would not be linear. How about, do we have a variable that has an exponent on it? Does it have an x squared, y squared? No. X to the third or y to the fourth? No. So all of this means that it's a linear equation, right? Right. The notes from a couple days ago, an equation is not linear if you have two multiplied together, two variables like x times y. If you have a variable in the denominator of a fraction, there are no fractions, or if you have a variable that has an exponent on it, then it would not be linear. But this one is linear, okay? So it says identify if it's linear. Yes, it's linear, but then after that, the instructions say rewrite it in standard form. So this is definitely not in standard form. This is in function form. This says y equals, that's function form. You want it in standard form. So what would you have to do to rewrite that in standard form?
What you gotta do is you gotta add.
Add what?
You gotta add the 3x.
Add 3x to both sides. That way the x gets eliminated from the right side, and when you add it to the other side, you won't be able to actually add y plus 3x, but they will be now both on the left side. So you're going to rewrite it. But of course, standard form is ax plus by equals c. So let's write it in that form. 3x plus y equals 2. That is standard form. That's the answer. So yes, it's linear, and then I rewrote it in standard form. Once it's in standard form, they could ask you, what's the a value? What would you say?
You would say
What's the a value?
3x.
Just 3. What's the c value?
1.
The c value?
Oh,
2. What's a b value? 1. That's right. Okay, so let's move on to the next even question, number 4. Does that have two variables multiplied together, x times y? Does it have exponents on x or y? Does it have a fraction with x or y in the denominator? No, so this is definitely a line, right? Because if any of these 3 things happen, that means it's not linear. None of those 3 things happen, so that means that this one is linear. So we're going to say, yes, it's linear, and now we need to change it to ax plus by equals c. So what would I need to do next? Subtract 2x, right? So let's do that. Let's subtract 2x. That way the x is gone on the right side of the equal sign, and what you do to one side, you must do to the other. Now you can't really subtract y, take away 2x, so you're going to rewrite it. But we're going to write our x term first, so I'm going to write it as negative 2x with a plus y, and then equals that c value of 5. Now that is standard form. However, if you're doing a multiple choice test, or even some other math teachers, they don't like to see the a value being negative. So if that's the case, if you get this as an answer, that's great. That's a great answer. But if you don't see that on the multiple choice test, they may multiply everything by -1. Okay, if you multiply everything by -1, it will simply change all the signs. So your other equation, actually the equation that's provided to you on the back side is positive 2x minus y equals -5. For some reason, they love having that a value being positive. So they multiplied all the signs by -1. Make sense? Let's move on to number 6. So again, if you're struggling with the odd ones, just watch the other video. Number 6 here, do you have x times y? No. Do you have a variable in the denominator of a fraction? No. Do you have a variable that has an exponent on it?
Yes.
Yes. So what could we say about this equation? We could say that it is not linear. So let's write that down. You could say not linear, or you could say non-linear, whatever you want. Non-linear. I think on the answers on the back, they just say no. Let's write down not linear. That means that if you were to graph it, it does not give you a straight line. It actually gives you a parabola, a U-shaped curve opening up that we'll have to do later on in the school year. But anyway, number 8, the next even question. Is this a linear equation or is it non-linear?
It is non-linear.
So if you say it's non-linear, that means that you are seeing two variables being multiplied together. Do you see x times y? No. Do you see a variable in the denominator of a fraction? You see a variable in the denominator of a fraction? Do you see a variable with exponents on it? No. So it's definitely linear. Does that make sense? Go through these 3 checklists right here. It has two variables being multiplied together. If that's the case, then it's not linear. If you have a variable in the denominator of a fraction, if that's the case, it's not linear. If you have a variable with an exponent on it, if that's the case, it's not linear. But this one, it doesn't have any of those, so it is linear. So it's yes. Yes. Now what we need to do after identifying that it is a line is rewrite it in standard form. Capital AX plus capital BY equals capital C. So I do not want another x term on the right side, so what am I going to do? Subtract 3x. What I do to one side, I do to the other side. Subtract 3x. 5x take away 3x is 2x. So you have 2x plus 6y equals 2. We're done. That's standard form right there. A is 2, B is 6, and C is 2. Do me a favor, check the answer on the back on number 8. They may have written this answer as x plus 3y equals 1. Or not. How do they write it?
X plus 3y equals 1.
Okay, so they did write it like this. That's kind of weird, but do you guys see what happened with our red equation compared to the black equation that's on the back? They divided everything by 2. Now, like I said, if we were taking an open-ended test, 2x plus 6y equals 2, that's a great answer for me. You get it correct, 100%, A+. But if you're taking a multiple choice test, they may simplify it, making it look a little bit easier by dividing everything by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, 6 divided by 2 is 3, 2 divided by 2 is 1. So just be on the lookout for that. If you ever don't get the same identical equation, see if they manipulated it. Sometimes they multiply everything by -1. Sometimes they make it smaller by dividing everything by 2 or dividing everything by 3. But anyways, either one of those is good for me on an open-ended test, open-ended quiz. Let's jump to number 10. So on number 10, they're asking us to find the x and the y-intercepts of each graph. Really easy to do. What is the x-intercept? After all, it's where your line crosses the x-axis. Here's the x-axis. Where does it cross the x-axis? At the x value of 2. So you could say this, x int is equal to 2. That's a good answer. Or you could actually give the exact location of that x-intercept value as an xy coordinate. So what would the xy coordinate be?
2, 0, 1.
2 on the x, 0 on the y. Okay, so x-intercept 2 or 2 comma 0. Either one of those is good. What do they use on the back? Do they give you the coordinate or do they just tell you x-intercept is 2? Okay, so they tell you the x-intercept, right? They don't actually write it as a coordinate. Either one's a good answer though. Now let's go for the y-intercept. The y-intercept obviously is where your line crosses the y-axis. So here's your line, it crosses the y-axis right there at that location. So you would write the y-intercept is, that is -2, right? So that's the answer that they use in the back. You could also give it as a coordinate. That coordinate, that location would be 0 on the x, negative 2 on the y. So 0, comma, negative 2. Either one of those is a perfectly good answer. Let's try number 12. It's like free points, guys. All you have to do is identify the x-intercept and the y-intercept. What's the x-intercept? 2. So let's write down x-intercept equals 2. And how about the y-intercept? What's the y-intercept? 4. So let's write down y-intercept is 4. And that's it. Now, if you wanted to give your x-intercept as a coordinate, that would be the coordinate 2 on the x, 0 on the y. If you wanted to give your y-intercept the value of 4 as a coordinate, that would be 0 on the x and 4 on the y. Okay? Easy. Now, for the final part of this homework, we need to actually find the x and the y-intercepts. Actually, we're not on the final part yet. What they want us to do on this next section, it says graph each equation by making a table. Okay? So we're doing the even ones on this video. So let's look at number 14. It says y equals 3x. And they're telling us to specifically make a table, an input-output table. Okay? And since we don't have a fraction in front of x, we could use the 3 easy values, the 3 easy input values, 0, 1, and 2. Okay? So if I do plug in 0 right in there, what's 3 times 0?
0.
0. So the output is 0. That's a coordinate. There it is, 0, 0. What if I plugged in 1? What would I have? Plug in 1, that would be 3 times 1, which is 3. And then let's plug in 2 right in there. 3 times 2 is 6. So if we graph the coordinate 1, 3, it's right there. And if we go to 2, 6, it's going to be off the graph by 1 unit. So you didn't have to use 0, 1, and 2. You could also have plugged in a negative number if you wanted to. You could plug in negative 1 if you want. And if you did plug in negative 1, 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. So the coordinate negative 1, negative 3 is down here. Of course, you didn't even have to do that. You could have taken the coordinates you have and used the pattern. Going up 3 over 1, going backwards, be going down 3 over 1 this way, down 3 over 1 this way. So you could use the pattern also to extend your line. But anyway, this is the graph that they want. Let's move on to number 16. On number 16, they want us to use the x and the y-intercepts to graph. So you first need to make sure that it's in standard form, which it is. What's the a value on this guy? What's the a value? 1. What's the b value? Negative 1. What's the c value? 3. So it is in standard form, and whenever it's in standard form, it's ready to do this. X-intercept on the left, y-intercept on the right, squiggly line in between. And we need to show our work here. How do we find our x-intercept? We need to remember from yesterday, you set y equal to 0. And I like putting this in a little cloud because that's what you need to know. You need to know that you have to set y equal to 0 to be able to find the x-intercept. And to find the y-intercept, you need to set x equal to 0. And I put it in a little cloud. That's what you need to know. So let's do this. For the x-intercept, I'm going to set y equal to 0. Here's my equation, x minus y equals 3. I'm going to write down x minus y, but we said we're going to set it equal to 0 equals 3. So when I have x minus y equals 3, but I put in 0 in place of y, it's going to be the simple equation x minus 0 equals 3. And that's already solved for you, x equals 3. So your x-intercept is 3. So it crosses the x-axis at the value of 1, 2, 3 right here. Let's find the y-intercept now. For the y-intercept, you're going to set x equal to 0. So instead of writing x minus y equals 3, I want to put parenthesis minus y equals 3. And of course, I am plugging in a 0 right in place of that x. And having a 0 out there doesn't change anything. 0 minus y, it's still going to be a minus y. So technically, I could just scratch it out. And my new equation is negative y equals 3. And if I don't want a negative y, I need to change it to a positive y, either by multiplying both sides by negative 1 or dividing both sides by negative 1. Either way, I will get y equals negative 3. And ladies and gentlemen, that's my y-intercept. So I know now that it crosses the y-axis at -3. And now that I have those two different points, I am able to draw my line right through it. Could I have rewritten this equation in function form, y by itself, and then used the xy table and plugged in 3 easy numbers and got out 3 easy answers and gotten this same exact line? Yes. But right here they're asking us to do x-intercept, y-intercept, and actually it's a little shorter, a little easier. You're just doing two things, so it's pretty straightforward. To find the x and the y-intercept, to find the x-intercept, you set y equal to 0. To find the y-intercept, you set x equal to 0. And technically, you end up with two coordinates, which is why we're able to draw our line between those 2 points. Jumping to the last one, number 18. We need to rewrite it in standard form. What would I do? Subtract 2y. Subtract 2y. My new equation in standard form is 4x first minus 2y equals 6. So let's find the x-intercept and the y-intercept. And squiggly line, I guess we don't need a squiggly line. I'm going to show my work over here and show my work over here. So I know to find my x-intercept, what do?
Put y 0.
Set y equal to 0. That's what you need to know. So let me rewrite this black equation, but instead of y, I want to put 0. It's going to say 4x minus 2 times y, but instead of y, I want to put in parentheses 0 equals 6. Well, let me do this. Equals 6. There you go. So what happens with the -2 times 0? It cancels out, right? It's just 0. You could just scratch it out if you want. So you have a new equation that reads 4x equals 6. Then what? Divide by 4. And what do we end up with? We end up with a fraction x equals 6 over 4. That could be reduced. So x equals 3 over 2. Now, what did we just find here? The x-intercept. Now, 3 over 2 doesn't really make much sense to me until I actually change it to a decimal or to a mixed fraction, mixed number. So I need to write this as the x-intercept is 1.5, or if you did do it on a calculator, 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. So let's actually go to that coordinate, the x-intercept at the x value of 1.5. So from the origin, 1 on the x and a half. That would be right here. So that is our x-intercept value, 1.5. Everybody with me? Now let's go for the y-intercept. How do you find the y-intercept? You set x equal to 0. So let's rewrite 4x minus 2y equals 6. And we are plugging in a 0 right there. 4 times 0 is 0. It disappears. What do you have left? You have a -2y equals 6. When you divide by -2 on both sides, you end up with y equals -3. That one's easy. The y-intercept is at -3. So -1, -2, -3 right here. It crosses the y-axis at -3. And now you could actually draw your line through that 1.5 x value, x-intercept, and through the -3 on the y. So don't get freaked out with fractions. I mean, when you're doing standard form equation, you don't want fractions. But if you end up with a fraction for an x-intercept, that's fine. You could turn it into a decimal and just go halfway if it's a 0.5. So you do need to do this whole worksheet. We did the odd ones on this video. If you need help on the even ones, watch the other video. We will have a test on all of this stuff before Thanksgiving break next week. We're not going to have a quiz this Friday.